took me on a vacation with him. Now I ain't gonna lie, we had our own private jet, everything. We went out to the islands and like some shit way out in the deep out there.
Yeah.
And I was like, we're gonna make it. I was like, but how we gonna get there? He said he got y'all a private jet. I was like, oh. Yeah, okay. It was my first time. You know what I'm saying? So we get on the jet or whatever. I'm on that bitch. I'm like, oh shit, like this is, you know.
This is what it said.
And it was a real one. It wasn't no like with the propellers and shit. It was a real joint, you know what I'm saying?
Smart money moves right there. All the luxury, none of the ownership headaches.
Took me on a vacation with him. Now I ain't gonna lie, we had our own private jet, everything. We went out to the islands and like some shit way out in the deep out there.
And I got on a plane and I was thinking of this flow in my head. And then all of a sudden the piano started coming to me. And I just kept repeating the melody so I didn't forget it. And I kind of wrote the song on the plane.
Warren G once casually mentioned something that made a lot of people pause. He talked about Dr. Dre taking him on a vacation. Private jet, island hopping, way out in the middle of nowhere. No cameras, no press, just silence. That moment opened a door most fans never realize exists. Because Dre isn't the only one moving like this. From billionaires logging entire months in the air, to flying casinos, to 4-mile flights that sparked outrage. Rap's biggest legends don't travel like normal people. They disappear. And the deeper you look, the stranger it gets. Let's start with the blueprint himself. Jay-Z doesn't just fly private, he erases his trail. With wealth that puts him in a completely different league, commercial flights were never an option. His jets are registered under layers of LLCs, making it nearly impossible to track where he's actually going. One of his most talked about aircraft was a luxury jet gifted by Beyoncé, fully customized. Bedroom suite, leather interiors, enough space for the entire inner circle. But that's just the surface. Behind the scenes, Jay uses empty repositioning flights, jets flying without passengers, simply to throw off trackers. At one point, critics noticed a short flight that burned massive fuel just to hide his real movement. Environmental backlash followed, but Jay never responded, because privacy was worth the price. And when he wants to vanish completely, he doesn't fly at all. He transitions straight from jet to mega yacht, floating mansions staffed by crews under strict NDAs. No photos, no leaks, no mistakes. But Jay-Z's precision looks modest compared to what Drake did next. Drake didn't buy a jet. He transformed one. Air Drake started as a cargo plane and turned into a flying palace. Multiple private suites, a full movie theater, plush seating everywhere, and right in the middle of it all, a custom gambling table. That's not a metaphor. Drake literally turned his jet into a flying casino, and the privacy level is unreal. Drake's openly joked that he can do whatever he wants on board because nobody else is there. His entourage is deep, his crew locked in, and everyone signs paperwork before takeoff. When rap feuds heated up, Air Drake suddenly started making strange movements, short repositioning flights, quick landings, sudden takeoffs. Paparazzi would show up, and Drake would already be gone. Critics slammed him for emissions, but Drake never slowed down, because when you move like that, you're not trying to be seen. Now take that mindset and mix it with chaos. Kanye West's aviation story feels like something out of a movie. At one point, he was flying on a double-decker jet designed more like a creative lab than transportation. Bedrooms, workout space, lounge areas built for inspiration. But what caught attention wasn't the luxury, it was the behavior. Kanye once took a flight that lasted only a few miles, literally crossing the city by air. The internet exploded. Critics lost their minds. But Kanye didn't care. Later trips got even stranger. Helicopter transfers, disguises, jets repositioning separately so nobody could track him. Rumors of yacht-linked escapes during personal turmoil followed. Yet through all of it, Kanye was still thinking business, leasing jets, monetizing access, turning chaos into income. While Kanye moved loudly, another legend perfected silence. Dr. Dre doesn't own massive fleets. He doesn't post tours. He doesn't flex. He disappears. Dre prefers chartered long-range jets, giving him luxury without ownership trails. His trips often involve multiple transitions: jet to smaller plane to yacht. Warren G's island story wasn't rare, it was routine. On one vacation, Dre moved through multiple layers just to reach a location nobody could track. Everyone involved signed NDAs. Even staff didn't know full routes. His yacht? A floating fortress. Helipad, submarine. Everything designed to leave no trace. When Dre wants to be invisible, he becomes a ghost. And the artist he discovered learned that lesson well. Eminem doesn't travel for flexes. He travels for function. His jet is built for privacy. Long range, quiet, minimal exposure. Everything about Eminem's travel setup reflects how he lives his life. Controlled, intentional, and far away from noise. While most artists treat flights as downtime, Eminem treats them like isolation chambers for creativity. Entire songs have taken shape thousands of feet in the air, melodies looping in his head while the rest of the world disappears below him. For him, being unreachable isn't a luxury, it's fuel. When family emergencies happen, Eminem doesn't make announcements. There are no airport photos, no fan sightings, no viral clips. He lands, exits through private terminals, and vanishes before anyone even realizes he touched down. That level of control isn't accidental. It's built into how he moves. Private hangars, separate runways, trusted crews who know silence is part of the job. The same approach applies to his charity work. Relief flights don't arrive with cameras waiting, aid deliveries don't come with speeches or hashtags. Crates are unloaded quietly, often under the radar, with local teams handling distribution before anyone realizes who funded it. No press releases, no social media posts, just action. Because for Eminem, real power doesn't announce itself. It operates without applause. But not every legend moves quietly. Snoop Dogg moves comfortably. After early flight bans for lighting up, Snoop reached a simple conclusion. If the rules don't fit your lifestyle, change the environment. Owning his own jet meant no more compromises, no more side eyes, no more tense conversations with flight crews. His aircraft became cannabis-friendly, pet-friendly, and stress-free. Dogs roaming on board, music always playing, the vibe never off. What makes Snoop different is how effortless it all feels. There's no rush, no chaos, no need to prove anything. The jet isn't about speed, it's about comfort. A place where the dog father can be himself without filters. When international travel gets complicated or attention starts building, Snoop adapts instead of fighting it. He switches lanes entirely. Yacht escapes. Open water, ocean air. Slow mornings instead of tight schedules. No rush, no pressure, just floating until the world cools off again. For Snoop, movement isn't about escaping attention. It's about choosing peace over noise. Then there's Travis Scott, who never stops moving. For Travis, private aviation isn't a flex, it's survival. Touring at stadium level means constant motion, different cities every night, different countries every week, hundreds of flights every year, enough miles logged to circle the globe again and again. Without private aviation, the machine simply doesn't work. His jets feel less like aircraft and more like floating after-parties. Dark lighting, heavy bass humming through the cabin, interiors inspired by luxury yachts instead of traditional planes. The energy never fully shuts off, even at 40,000 feet. Arrivals are fast, exits are even faster. One moment he's on stage in front of tens of thousands, the next he's gone. Crowds rarely see him leave and almost never see him arrive. Private terminals, back entrances, perfectly timed departures. Everything is built around momentum. And when the spotlight gets too intense, Travis disappears onto the water. Jet to yacht, noise to silence, attention fading with every mile offshore. It's the only way to reset before the next city, the next show, the next explosion of energy. 3 artists, 3 completely different philosophies, silence, comfort, constant motion, different paths, same goal, control. Rick Ross takes a completely different approach. To Ross, luxury is strategy. Every jet, every boat, every move is branding. His aircraft isn't just transportation, it's an extension of Rich Forever. Hangar parties turn into networking events. Family trips double as legacy moments. Expenses aren't costs, they're assets waiting to multiply. Even the boats aren't toys, they're statements. Visual proof that the boss mindset never clocks out. Lil Wayne's journey hasn't been as smooth. Searches, bans, complications, setbacks that would ground most people. But Wayne never stopped flying. Every obstacle just added another layer to his story. Because no matter how turbulent it gets, Weezy always finds a way to stay airborne. One custom standoff ended with him walking straight back onto his jet and waiting it out. Because when you own the plane, You don't argue. You wait on them. And finally, there's Diddy. Once the symbol of ultimate luxury travel, matte black jets, constant motion, charter income flowing, a lifestyle that looked untouchable from the outside. But everything changed. Flights started showing up in investigations. Jets moved during active raids. Assets were shifted, re-registered, and quietly sold off. What once represented total freedom became something else entirely. Evidence. And that's the real story most people miss. Jets don't make you untouchable. Privacy doesn't always protect you. Sometimes it exposes you. And no matter how high you fly, gravity is always waiting. These artists didn't just buy luxury, they bought distance, silence, control, and in some cases, they paid a price for it. So, the next time you see a headline about a private jet touching down in the middle of nowhere, remember, the real story usually starts after the engines shut off. If you want more breakdowns like this, the untold moves, the quiet power plays, and the stories hiding behind the flex, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's next. Click one of the videos on your screen right now and keep it locked.